doing something last night too. Handmade, $100 beer. Hey, now Medea, I need your help.
Yeah.
Like this guy, where I can see, or you like this guy where I can't see?
No, I like the eyes. I don't know. How you doing?
You want some water? Want some water?
Oh. Come on over here, Jerry.
We're going around the corner to
Is this all you're going to give me? This all you're giving me? Actually, give me twice as much. Here, we'll take a quick picture too. I need to shrink my neck. Yes, I always am. You didn't know I was creepy when I was giving my press conferences?
Okay. What about your dad-in-law? I want to get some more missiles from your dad-in-law. Hey, Jerry.
You gotta let people walk through, guys.
Oh, yeah, we do. Okay, Jerry. What's your dad-in-law, Doctor?
Are you going to be between here and there?
Yeah,
or?
We're gonna walk over there, do a little something.
Are you planning any civil disobedience?
No.
Or it's just okay. All right.
Definitely not.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's too pretty a night for that, isn't it?
We all want to go to the movies.
I wish I was home to go to the movies. Okay, and till about what time?
The latest 7:30, maybe.
Oh,
7:30.
I'm on the other side if you
so
need me.
much.
Okay.
Okay, appreciate it.
لا حطيته
I have friends who did like development work there, and they're taking off our masters. How about Nora Burgan?
Yes. You want a picture?
A
little bit more in Yahoo Master Center.
Ahora sí las entrevistas ahí, ¿no?
Other direction. Towards Jared. And then Yahoo Big Bird up here.
You better be careful.
You know who it is now? No one's holding it. What does it say anyway? Palestine is best. How can you hold it?
This lady was very nice.
Okay, great. So, when you call me by my street name, Special K. Okay? You call me by my street name, Special K, yo.
Hi.
Hello there.
I'm Jared Kushner, man. Special K.
You sound different to me than when I last saw you.
Yeah.
Trying to be hip.
I can buy and sell human life.
Oh, hi, Marie. Nice to meet
And,
you.
sound like you've been out to Hollywood.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. Thank you for coming my speech. Wrote a nice speech.
Are you guys all looking for your outfit? Are you all looking for parking right now?
Us. Yeah, my friend's working.
Can I face the public like this?
Dog looks sort of iffy.
Oh.
So do I roll it up?
Great. Love your outfit.
Yo!
God, that's amazing.
JK in the house. I buy and sell human life.
Alright, let's be cool about that.
I can see.
Yes.
Can we use something else here?
You know what? No one's gonna mess with you parking right now. Who is it? Here, let me just go talk to you.
So, Bree, do you work with?
Yes.
So you're one of the
staff members.
staff members. Okay. Do you live in the Coconut House?
Are we too early to hold signs?
Oh, no.
I've actually can't get the plane.
How long have you been with?
How about some other people holding some signs?
Fly away, come fly away.
I'll hold signs.
Me.
Okay, you can hold the
Or
sign.
at parties the Coconut
Oh, well, there's signs.
Yeah.
How about some people holding signs? Brianna?
Good. Love to do this whole time.
Brianna? You want
What?
to hold the sign? You two hold the sign?
I would. I don't think anyone's gonna mess with you. They're worried about us.
Do you want us to
Then
hold
there's
the
another sign
sign?
you can hold.
I mean, there's other signs.
Okay.
But yeah, you can hold that
Let's hold
sign.
some signs so there's some
Okay.
context to what
This
we're
one,
doing.
these ones just say Free Palestine.
All right.
Alright, this one, and get where are the rest of the Free Palestine.
Were you a
You want to get a
student?
sign?
Yeah.
I recently had grad school at American.
You want to wear a bib? Schmuck?
I went to GW, but that was in the
Everybody follow.
dinosaur days. Yeah, it was. Finance. And yeah, back in the day when they were 79 to 83, they were doing massive building at GW. They used to call us the GW Construction Company rather than
You know who he does look like? He looks like that guy that just got out of jail and set the fire. What is it, Bundy?
So are you a native of these parts?
You remember Bundy?
Oh God, then you know.
Robert Redford.
Robert, he
He
does.
does. He has like a
Alright.
like
Somebody told me that a lot.
Robert
Way better
Redford
than
and
Bundy.
Here, isn't it?
Yeah,
I've never
Clive and
left.
Bundy.
I have older teachers who lived here and they eventually wore.
Mr. Red.
How you doing?
That's another late man.
So do you know much
Okay, now
about
wait.
this
Should we line up
Only
together
that I used
or
to,
what?
my parents used to drag me
Everybody's
here
in a
40
different
years
direction
ago.
here.
Oh,
Yeah, for Islamic
You need a
studies.
choreographer.
And it was built by the Egyptians.
But wait, Tai Chi was part of the
Oh, fire hydrants, that's different. No, on the other side. That's not her.
Hey,
Anybody want a free Palestine? Here's free. Who is?
Yeah, no, we want you to be IDF. Yeah.
You gotta lose your hat, California man.
Here.
We need to line people up together so there's context.
You know Samir?
No, I don't think so.
Context, yeah, because you got Netanyahu with money, and then you got
Maybe I haven't.
over here.
You know Ariel?
I know Ariel. How are you? Sorry about what happened to you. Happened to me last summer.
Oh no, you're putting it on wrong. The zipper's in front, I think. Yeah, the zipper's in front. Yeah.
What happened? Easier end of all of this.
Still, not easy not getting in.
Maybe it's that cloud that's coming from Africa.
It's like a new type of smoke. Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see Netanyahu met with Putin today? Netanyahu did?
They're all in here.
So are you on our list? Is that how you hear about this?
Here, let me pull her up. I got another one in the car. They said it was going to be Nora. Here.
You can do it. You can do it. I do it. Don't worry about ripping. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. You can do it.
For the cause, baby. That's it. You don't have to zip it.
Well, it makes you look more good. That's great.
You have a bigger one.
Looks like you got a big chest. All right.
That's why I brought two of them. I said Nora.
Be careful, that looks like a gun.
Looks like it's loaded, right? The thing is, it's a flexible
I would
gun.
wait until we walk over there, guys.
Yeah.
What? Oh, I think they know this is.
I mean, look at it.
Yeah,
All right, it's not going to help you in the crisis.
Yeah.
So what about free Palestine? Anyone carrying this? You would need two people.
Okay.
Hey, Alan.
Hi, do we have another bib?
We have another business. What's it? No, that's not from us. That's not our car. I see someone in the car anyway. All right, so this is almost done, this bag, so I'm gonna switch.
Are you with Telesur? No, he's Pan TV.
You've never heard of Hispan TV? Holy shit, what planet do you live on?
Did you make that sound?
Do you want me to give you my phone now? It's like,
All right, Jerry. Jerry.
Well, so this one is, what's this one? This one, Stop Killing in Gaza? So I want to show everybody what this is all about.
Hey, Adam,
No, I don't
you
want
got
to show
the
you.
sign yet? Step right up. Get your sign.
Okay, so now, Medea, maybe you want to focus. Anybody that's going to be going over there,
over where?
what do you want to do this or no? Okay. I just want to show them what happens. Or, yeah, or they could walk with them. All this is like this. Who cares? I mean, it's just like that. That's it. So, I have these pictures of victims of Israeli murder in Gaza. Now I tighten this thing up, but these come out real easy.
That little baby?
No.
Okay, Ariel.
It's all men. So anyway, so these things, so if anybody cares, these things you can wear them around your neck while we go walking over there. And then you can untie them and tie them to the fence. The fence is going to have a bar across it like this, and you'll be able to tie it like that. Okay?
Hello. Graduated.
He's our bodyguard. You stay with me and Evie. You know what? That was Ariel's idea.
Big fan of your work.
Oh, Jared Kushner. Jared
It's kind of nuts, actually. And the people who are aligning are literally marching for genocide. That march happened. They learned to yes, that's, and we are the Nazis now. We're the new Nazis.
It might be hard for you.
Always comes to you in the end. It's really dangerous. It always does.
I have a sub-cellar. I have a few Palestinians. The bullying is more like they try to do
then we don't even need our shit.
Well, yeah.
No, but
Does it look better?
No, we did it right. And then we suddenly pop out. It's going like, okay, now we're going to start to say, thank you for coming to my home. Here I am. I called this press conference for 6 months.
What I do.
I guess I did.
Oh.
Do you guys want to?
Sorry. Yeah, awesome.
What about me? It's all about me.
So,
We just might wait until.
I mean, until I'm putting mine down. Because I don't see the reason. They're going to, what's going to happen is now, are we doing the same? So, police are being cooperative. You're going to have to have all of us in there. She's going to be at the corner. So you get her friends. We should eventually have a hug
if Israel is taking Jerusalem, and if the U.S. is supporting that, as we are, by having moved our embassy, there can be no peace without giving Palestinians the right of return to their homes and lands that they've been displaced from since 1948, and which is in accordance with international law. There can be no peace plan without ending the siege on Gaza and the occupation of the West Bank. So we are here to tell Jared Kushner that Palestine is not for sale. And we are here to mourn and protest the ongoing killings of peaceful protesters in Gaza, civilians and children. Over 130 people have been killed in Gaza since March 30th while trying to peacefully protest the crippling siege that they live under and call for their rights under international law to return to their lands and homes in accordance with UN Resolution 194.
The plan hasn't been unveiled yet, but those reasons that you are giving me are reason enough not to have a valid peace plan for
It's really been a long time since the U.S. could claim to any degree to be an honest broker in the Middle East. And aspects of this plan have been leaked a bit in advance of the plan officially coming out. And what we're likely looking at is basically a selling off of Palestine for Palestinians to give up their rights to East Jerusalem, to give up the right to live with freedom rather than under occupation and under siege, in exchange for just barrels and barrels of money largely from Middle East countries, including the repressive Saudi government.
I understand that with that peace action you also are calling to the international community and activism to stand up in favor of Palestine.
Absolutely. We're calling to the international community to stand up for Palestine and to protest and petition their governments for Palestinian human rights. And specifically, we are calling on U.S. citizens to tell our government that we have had enough of unconstricted U.S. military and financial and diplomatic support for Israel, despite the ongoing war crimes that Israel continues to commit on the Palestinian people.
There's another issue I would like you to address. Ireland Senate just approved a law in which they will not buy any products made in the occupied territory.
We are right now celebrating a fantastic and historic victory Ireland is on its way to becoming the first EU country to ban products from illegal Israeli settlements. Israeli settlements are entirely illegal and stand in the way of any hope of achieving peace for Palestinians and Israelis. There have been campaigns for years and years to say that we need to boycott and divest from the settlement enterprise, and Ireland has passed legislation through their upper house, moved the legislation through for a ban on all products from illegal settlements. It still has to go through the lower house into a full vote, but we see it as on its way and expect it to succeed. And really this is a win for human rights across the world, for dignity and freedom.
Lastly, you've just been trying to get into Israel and you have been deported. What do you comment on that?
Well, Israel claims to be the only democracy in the Middle East. They claim to be a land, a safe haven, and a country for Jews, yet I, as an American Jew who works for Palestinian human rights, was just denied entry to their country. I was called an extremely dangerous person, and that's just outrageous. I am a nonviolent peace activist advocating for international law and human rights, and yet we have people like Jared Kushner, Netanyahu, Donald Trump, and so many more who are promoting violence and carrying out violence, committing war crimes, building settlements, strangling the people of Gaza. These are the extremely dangerous people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So,
You're not a representative.
When in my interest, certainly thank you. But you should
I was there, and the senior said, what is it done? I know somebody said down here. Mr. Kushner,
oh my goodness! Oh man, let's speak a foreign language. Where's my guard? Take him out.
I got you.
Hey, where's our...
Don't allow foreign languages spoken.
I know. I'm going to be deported.
This is my friend.
Hi, I'm Natalie.
Are you from DC or in Canada?
But hey, how you doing? Are you talking now? All right, so are you going to the got injury. Are you going to organize where is this hero band? Does Gail have a partner?
Yep, never mind. She's got a partner.
From Calvin.
Want to help me?
Lori!
Hello.
I haven't seen you!
Yes.
Hi, Gil.
All right, if we could. Hello, everybody.
I love you, Gail. There's no doubt about it. Oh, yeah.
So she's finishing an interview there.
It shoots paper bullets.
It is.
The other one doesn't. The other one ended.
We figured out who you are. Totally compensated.
You know, we're the guys who do this.
Yeah.
However, we want to ensure that the Palestinian story ends in a happy one, a happy outcome.
We don't need it for David, I'd say yes.
Americans did
Great.
indigenous population here. We want to ensure that the Palestinians
Feel free to
return to their homeland.
So we're just waiting till
Press, you said?
Nadia finishes the interview, and then we'll get marching.
I just saw the video of like the guy doing this to the guy.
You can do that. You can do it for
Yeah.
So we're going to start giving people out there.
Yeah.
And
With the Kapia.
All right, so could we circle around a little bit? You're good right there. So thank you so much for coming. This is a good turnout for last minute. And we're going to do a march. We're going to be chanting. It's just up the block and around the corner there to Jared Kushner's house. The police already talked to us. They're very nice. They said, anybody want to do civil disobedience? I said no. She said, good. So we will be giving you out now photographs of people who were killed in Gaza. And if you want to put it around your neck or carry it however you want.
so they're really easily tied. Like this one just came untied really fast. So the reason that we're making them so that you can untie them is because we plan to tie them to the bicycle racks or barricades that are over there. They look like bicycle racks, but they're barricades.
So the idea at some point will be that we tie them on to
So
the
this
racks.
can go right around your head. Or this. Who wants one? Would you like one? There you go.
So the
Okay.
plan is
Pam?
we walk up there. We're going to start a...
Who else gets one?
Is it going to be you or Nora? It's going to be you going to speak.
Yeah.
Right. So Nadia and Ariel will talk. There might be an interruption. And we will push the interrupters away.
Who else wants one?
And then we'll have Pam, then you'll talk about Gaza. And if there's no problem, we'll be going up as Pam is talking and putting these up on the...
We're not putting them up.
We're tying them
So it's like
to the bicycle rack.
There's a pole, like all bicycle racks. There's a pole that runs this way and many poles that run this way. You walk up to the pole that's running that way. Yeah. You take this and you just tie it once. That's all you do, just like that, and walk away. Okay. So then it's not a major.
Do you need more people? I'll take one.
Yeah.
And then we will have a chance for anybody who wants to talk. So raise your hand if you think you want to say something. And we encourage everybody to say something.
Laura, you
Scream something.
You'll say something. You can scream something. Who else would like to say something?
I'm gonna definitely say something.
Who else would like to speak? Adam, great.
Who else gets one of these?
Right.
Michael?
Yeah.
Wait.
Um,
Okay, and then who else? Who else gets a picture? Anybody else?
everybody, we hope everybody will take a picture.
See if I know one.
If Kushner drives by, is there something we want to shout in unison?
So if Kushner drives by, we say, should we be saying Palestine is not for sale?
Yes.
Because that's what the crux of the peace plan is. Right.
Sounds good.
So if you are so moved to talk, we would love to have you talk.
Okay, who else gets one of these? Anybody else?
I'll get one. So if we are allowed to put these up, we might then, because we don't have enough people, put one up and take another one.
Yep. I got it. I have another one here. Give out all the other things. You can.
So when we first go up there, I think it would be nice to get one photo first in front of the bike racks. So we'll all go stand there.
Why not take two?
I was going to say that.
Take two.
Adam, you want one?
What?
Are they even in DC?
He is. So if we have no problem putting these on, then we can go take another one and put it on. Okay. I think we are ready. We are missing Nora.
She says that, she said that she's probably going to meet us with the sign.
She'll meet us. Okay. So I guess
Unless you're on a bicycle. Unless you're on a bicycle.
Wait a minute, where's my name?
you're doing the march. If you get in front of us.
Because I live in Virginia. Yeah, that's a bit further.
Hi, how you doing? I'm Medea. Are you going to come with us? We're just going around the corner here to Jared Kushner's house. It's around Palestine. No, you can come as long or short as you want.
You're my bodyguard.
Yeah, this is a good thing. Yes. Pam. Pam. Did you give him a flyer? Okay, so we'll get Jared and Netanyahu up in front with the idea.
No, the banner up in front.
Oh, okay. Banner up in front. Banner up in front.
But Mia, wait a minute. It's because we're not really introducing the whole thing until after.
Okay. So we're going to have you all up in the front.
How are you marching up the street?
We'll watch up the street. Yeah. All right. So did you head out? So we're going to cut. Wait. Yeah, let us get behind them. Come behind them. Maybe in like twos or something.
So you know what we're doing?
We will walk.
And then to the right.
Me and David, an idea for walking ladies off.
Any photos?
Do you mind going with them?
What about photos in front of us?
We didn't need the front.
So
let's go.
You ready? David?
No, they're going this way separate. But
Sorry.
But Pam, you can come behind. If you come behind here, we'll all come behind them. Okay, we got our group together. Everybody ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Let's
Iron up. Here we go.
Adelante.
From DC to Palestine, occupation is a crime.
From DC to Palestine,
Occupation is a crime.
From DC to Palestine,
Occupation is a crime.
from DC to Palestine,
Occupation is a crime.
from DC to Palestine,
Occupation is a crime.
from DC to
Palestine, occupation is a crime.
From DC to Palestine,
occupation is a crime.
From DC to Palestine, the
Occupation
siege of Gaza is a crime. From DC to Palestine,
The siege on Gaza is a crime.
from DC to Palestine,
The siege on Gaza is a crime.
from DC to Palestine,
The siege on Gaza is a crime.
from DC to Palestine,
The siege of Gaza is a crime.
stop
the killing! Stop the hate! Palestine is not real estate!
Stop the killing! Stop the hate!
Palestine is not real estate!
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more!
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more!
5, 6, 7, 8. Israel is an apartheid state!
5, 6, 7, 8. Israel is an apartheid state!
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more!
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more!
5, 6, 7, 8. Israel is an apartheid state!
5, 6, 7, 8. Israel is an apartheid state!
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more!
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more!
5, 6, 7, 8. Israel is an apartheid state!
5, 6, 7, 8. Israel is an apartheid state!
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more!
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more!
5, 6, 7, 8.
You know, other side
Israel is an apartheid state!
5, 6, 7, 8. Face me, Gail. Gail, turn around, face me.
Free, free Palestine!
We want a photo with you.
Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Everybody needs to come on this side!
We want a photo with you all.
You guys need to be here.
Free, free Palestine!
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 Free, free Gaza now!
Free, free Gaza now!
Free, free Gaza now!
Free, free Gaza now!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Palestine is not for sale!
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 Quick walk around this whole thing.
So we're here right now in front of Jared
In March of this year...
Who are you?
Oh.
Who do you represent?
I'm Nadia Itresh, and I do activism work on behalf of the Palestinian cause with Code Pink and the Ad Hoc Committee for Palestine. In March of this year, thousands of Palestinians marched to the borders just trying to go home. What you don't know, Kushner, is that those Palestinians marching home are from Jaffa, what apartheid Israel calls Tel Aviv. And they're marching to their homes in Hamama, not what the colonialist Israelis call Ashkelon. And they are marching to Beit Hanun, and Damra, and Simsim, and Burayr, Al-Fallujah, Al-Mishdal, now called by the racist Israeli colonizer Sderot, and Hashash Galan, and Kiryat Gat. It's a simple story. It's not complicated like the Israelis want you to believe. Palestinians did live in Palestine, and Palestine was taken by force by an Israeli terrorist gang, now called the IDF. Through terror and ethnic cleansing, the people who live in refugee camps in Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, in the West Bank, and Gaza all came from Palestine proper, what the colonialists call Israel. Which brings us to why are we here? The Palestinians want to go home.
That's right.
Israel is determined to finish the ethnic cleansing and ignore the Palestinian struggle to go home. They talk about Hamas. They say Palestinians don't exist. They say the Palestinians do exist, but they're responsible for their own problems. They say Palestinians have been offered peace, but they are animals and just don't want peace. What they don't say is that Palestinians have the right to return to their homes. They don't say that the Great Return March makes sense. Palestinians just want to go home to the homes they were forced to leave. It isn't complicated. Everyone wants to go home. E.T. wants to go home. Everyone wants to go home. So here we are to support the amazingly resilient Palestinians in Gaza. We are here to say, we know you are the brave ones. You are the ones who shout, give me liberty or give me death. We are here to pray for you and promise to say every day that you have the right to go home. And we are here to say to IDF soldiers, you are the cowards. What kind of a man orders or not pulls the trigger at an unarmed teenager? What kind of a man shoots a harmless man, woman, or child? We know you, Israelis, you are scared, and you should be scared. Because on your side is colonialist power, money and weaponry, bigotry, racism, and apartheid. But on the Palestinian side is truth, justice, dignity. Palestinians fight for survival. Israel's fight for power and oppressor status. I would be scared too if I was an Israeli, because I know when I'm up against a man surviving, you are no match. And then there's Kushner. If I were him, I'd be scared, because he has to deliver a peace plan of the century to his father-in-law. And he can't, because you can't buy dignity. You can't buy the Palestinian right to return. Palestinians are natives, and natives belong to the earth. So Kushner, this is what we say to you. We know you have a familial tie to dirty money. Dirty money has done a lot for you, we are sure, but dirty money won't buy you Palestine. The Great March returns, so the only deal Palestinians will accept is a free Palestine deal.
That's right. Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
No. Just wait a minute. Now this woman right here, she's not from Israel. I'm from Israel. Special Special K is from Israel. Special K! Kushner! Money!
Okay.
See, you know this lady. Excuse me, ma'am, come back here. Tell me what you know about Israel, because obviously you have no connection to Israel.
I was born
You're
there.
American.
I was born there.
So?
And I don't have a right to return.
It's Israel now, baby, and many Americans like myself are now Israeli and American.
Well, it's not, wait a minute. Where's my real estate money?
Woohoo! We got it right here.
Just you remember who's in charge here. Not you, not your daddy. It's me, all right?
That's it. That's a good idea.
I want those missiles.
Let's keep this in mind.
I want those missiles, okay? All right.
Okay.
All right.
Now, let me tell you about my peace plan. Let me tell you about Special K's little peace plan, baby. Special K got it in the house, all right? Special K gonna sell, what are we gonna sell? What are we gonna sell, baby? We're gonna sell Palestine. Yeah! And then that little side piece of real estate I bought up, I mean, we didn't buy anything up, right, BB?
Nope. But where's the champagne and
Gaza.
cigars?
We're going to be selling
Gaza.
Gaza.
Where's the champagne and cigars you told me about?
This will be the biggest real estate deal of Jared Kushner's life. Oh, yeah, baby.
Okay, calm down.
Special K gonna make it big
Calm
this time.
down. Okay.
Yeehaw! All right. This is my man. My man keeps me safe from all you crazies.
That's my man, man. That's my man. What are you talking about?
So, I think right now we should start the bidding off at what's Palestine worth? $5?
No, you're going to give me more than that.
So,
Give me
what do
more
I
than
hear for Palestine? 5 over here. Oh, I hear 100. How much? What did the Saudis come in at?
100 billion.
Oh my God! Sold to the Saudis. Here you go, Saudis.
Hey, get over here.
Okay.
Not for sale.
Yeah, we got that other
Palestine is not for sale.
What?
Palestine is not for
Oh, yeah, it is.
Palestine
Let
is
me
not
tell
for
you.
sale.
Palestine is not for sale.
Palestine is not for sale.
Look, BB.
Yeah, what?
This is what
What,
I promised.
huh?
And I'm gonna make it come.
You're
BB,
what?
I promised you if I sold this deal that you become the king of Israel. BB's now the king.
He's a criminal. Put him in jail.
Let's have some champagne and cigars.
Criminal.
Champagne and cigars.
We've got Palestine. We've got Palestine.
Is a crime. We've got
Palestine. We've got Palestine. It's all mine. Palestine is mine.
Wait.
Palestine
Whoa,
is
baby,
mine.
wait.
Oh yeah, baby.
Wait.
Palestine is mine.
Whoa.
should be doing
You're working with me.
Stealing land
You're
is
working
a
with me.
crime.
I don't get it.
Baby should be doing time.
Who said?
Stealing water is a crime. Baby should be doing time.
What am I?
Stealing water is a crime. Baby should be doing time.
How come I'm not?
Stealing water is
Palestine,
a crime.
it is mine.
Why am I not?
Palestine, it is mine. Palestine, it is mine.
No, it's mine.
Palestine,
It's mine.
it is mine.
It's mine.
The biggest real estate deal of my life.
Hey.
Even my
show some
father-in-law
respect.
can't do this.
Hey.
Siege on Gaza's got to go. Jared Kushner, don't you know? The siege on Gaza's got to go.
No.
Jared Kushner, don't you know? The siege on Gaza's got to go.
Hey.
Jared Kushner, don't you know? The siege on Gaza's got to go.
Palestine is mine.
Wait, what about it's mine?
The siege on Gaza's got
You can
to
have
go.
Gaza.
What do you mean?
Jared Kushner, don't you know? The siege on Gaza's got to go. Jared Kushner, don't you know? The siege on Gaza's got to go.
Ho.
Netanyahu, don't you know? The siege on Gaza's got to go.
Shoot that woman.
Netanyahu,
Shoot that
don't
woman.
you know?
Shoot
The
it!
siege on Gaza's got to go!
Shoot that
Netanyahu, don't you know?
Where I come
The
from,
siege
we
on
can shoot
Gaza's
protesters.
got to go!
Shoot
Where I
that
come
protester.
from, we shoot protesters.
Sick and tired. I want my cocktail. I'm sick of this demonstration.
Netanyahu, don't you know? The
Where I come
occupation's
from,
got to
we
go!
shoot protesters.
Yeah.
Take it
Kushner,
out.
don't you
Yeah.
know?
What are
The
you gonna tell your dad when he comes
occupation's
here?
got
This is
to go!
embarrassing.
Jared Kushner, don't you know? The occupation's got to go!
Jared Kushner.
So Jared, what about this peace plan? What's that gonna look like?
So let me explain this to
Oh,
you.
yeah.
BB, I gave BB some parts of the
It's
beachfront
really
property.
impressive.
I
Really
gave, you can't talk
impressive.
over my lines. I don't talk over your lines.
All right, go ahead.
I gave BB some of the beachfront property in Gaza. For that thing, I got me all West Bank Palestine. So the West Bank of Palestine is mine, mine, mine. Okay? Special K got a big interest. This is going to be the best real estate deal of my life. Poppy Trump is going to love me forever, baby, because I'm giving him Palestine. So, baby, are you happy with that deal? We're going to give you the beachfront of Gaza. What do you say about that, baby?
I want a little bit more than that. Don't play me for a sucker. Don't play me for a sucker. Where's my champagne? Give me my cigars.
Kushner's peace plan!
This guy's the easiest guy I ever worked with. All he wants is cigars and champagne.
Well,
I'm
that's what
talking
you-
about beautiful beachfront property in Gaza. Yeah, baby, I'm going to give you your cigars and your champagne.
Kushner, your
Right.
peace plan is a sham!
So the next. No. This is a real deal. Hold on. You haven't heard my deal yet. I'm going to tell the Saudis that they can occupy the West Bank and they can give it to whoever they want. They can give it to Jordan. They can keep it for themselves. I don't really care what happens to that place.
What about the Saudis? Can they have
But
it?
the settlements now, on the other hand, we're going to gold plate them babies. Because Special K is into gold, right? Special K loves the gold. So we're going to have that gold. You know, you heard it, the yellow brick road. That's going to be the Jewish-only road that leads right up to my settlement. I'm going to be king of that settlement. This is going to be the biggest deal of my life. I've got water rights already stowed, right? Right, BB?
I guess so. Whatever you say.
Do I get the water rights to all
I want the
Palestine?
missiles. I want the missiles. God damn it! Give me the
Okay,
missiles.
we're gonna give him the missiles. This guy's into killing people, man. I don't know
no
what's going on.
shit.
I think he's a little nuts. I don't know. I, on the other hand, you know what I mean? JK, Special K is cool. But this guy, I think he's a little lost, you know what I mean?
Hey,
But
I want some
what I'm
respect.
trying to say is Special K is gonna give Palestine lots of money. Those people are they're gonna love the gold. They're gonna love the gold they're gonna love the gold. The Special K showers on them. And then there's gonna be those entrepreneurs who are gonna wanna have that entrepreneur money. All right?
You don't speak English. You're from America, aren't you?
No, but I got Israeli citizenship. So does
Kushner,
most
you
of New
can't
York
hide.
and so
See your
is DC.
racist side. Jared Kushner, you can't hide. We can see your racist side. Jared Kushner, you can't hide. We can see your racist side. Jared Kushner, you can't hide. We can see your racist side. Jared Kushner, you can't hide. We can see your racist side. Jared Kushner,
I've got a sale going on who wants to bid on Palestine. I am the best organizer of the auction. Ready? I'm bidding on 100,000. Do I hear 120,000? Do I hear 100? Hebron's going cheap. Hebron's already really having a bad problem. There's some kind of crazy shit going on there. So I'm selling Hebron rock bottom prices. Hebron right now, $20,000. The next bidder. I can kick all 250,000 of them people right out of there. You want to try me? You want to try me? You want to try me? I'm JK. I got it going on. I'm kicking them Palestinians out.
You can't even get us. You can't even Jared Kushner, you will see. Palestine will be free. Jared Kushner, you will see. Palestine will be free. Jared Kushner, you will see. Palestine
لفلسطين الحرية لفلسطين
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Gaza!
Free Gaza!
Free Gaza!
Free Gaza!
Gaza, don't you cry! Palestine will never die! Gaza, don't you cry!
Go, man. I got gold. I'm buying y'all out. I'm buying. How much is that bicycle? I gotta get out of here. I need some wheels.
Free Gaza!
Free Gaza!
Free Gaza!
We have Pam Bailey here from We Are Not Numbers, and she's going to talk to us a bit about what's going on in Gaza.
So now you're going to see that each of us are wearing photos of individuals who look like really normal, healthy, happy young people, right? And so people ask the question, why on earth would these young people willingly go up to the separation fence that keeps them out of Israel and sacrifice their lives? Because they did know, they all knew the risk. I think that the brutality of Israel surprised everybody, but they all knew what Israel does when you get too close to their fence, and they shoot live ammunition. So why on earth would they do that? There's the assumption out there, there's a myth that's spread in the press here, in the media, that Palestinians love death. You know, they hate life. They're willing to throw away their lives. It's not the case. I want you to think for a second. Any American who understands what the reality is like in Gaza, think for a second, if you lived someplace, 2 million people packed into a space that's just about twice the size of DC, you're not allowed to have an airport, you're not allowed to sail out or receive ships in your own harbor. In fact, twice now in the last couple of days, they've tried to sail a boat out. They got about 6 miles out, and then their boat was taken, and the captain's being kept in prison. They have 2 land crossings that are controlled by other people. They don't control their own crossings in and out. And one is through Egypt, one's through Israel, but they're totally at the whim of those governments. Now, Egypt, yes, it's true that they finally, like some big favor, are keeping the crossing open for the longest time period in quite a while. But guess what? There's like more than 20,000 people on the waiting list to get out. And still, in order to be the one that gets out, even though you're on the list, you're paying bribes about $1,500, which most people don't have. So if you have any kind of illusion that now they have this free crossing into Egypt, that's not the case. Israel's even worse. Again, it's at the whim of another government whether or not you're allowed out, even if you have a terrible illness. For instance, like if you have cancer, because cancer drugs aren't available in Gaza. It is totally at the whim of Israel, and in most cases, you're not allowed out. And also exports. Most exports are not allowed, so that means they cannot have a functioning economy. It's the highest unemployment rate in the world. It's about 60% overall. Now, just imagine for a second, if you're an American and you're living in those conditions, what would you do? I have a very hard time imagining that most Americans would just take it sitting down and do nothing. I mean, look at our own American Revolution. We thought we were being oppressed. And so what did we do? We certainly weren't nonviolent. And the protests that these young people participated in were largely nonviolent. And if you look at the numbers, 146 Palestinians have been killed so far. 0 Israelis have been killed. About 15,415, that's our best count right now, Palestinians in Gaza have been wounded. Of those, about 8,246 have been hospitalized, and only 4 Israelis have been wounded. So if you hear all this talk about, oh, how violent they are, and because they have some kites that are flaming, you know, the numbers speak for themselves. This is a largely nonviolent protest, and they're being shot down by snipers with very exact weapons, and they're basically harmless in the face of that. And you know, the one thing I hear, I run a project called We Are Not Numbers,
I hope you visit the website. It's weare.numbers.org. And these are youth, because more than half the population in Gaza are young people under the age of 25. And most of them are unemployed, so we help them tell their stories because we try to break through some of the myths you read in the media and really read what it's like to be living in Gaza. And one thing they keep telling me is when you walk in the streets now, what you see are an amazing number of young people on crutches or in wheelchairs because they don't have one leg or they don't have two legs or maybe they're missing an arm. And yet they're still out there, and guess what? The more sickening thing is they're still going back to the border. So again, you have to ask the question, what drives somebody to do that? These, no one would willingly give up their lives. They love life as much as we do. So you have to ask the question, and our government doesn't ask it. Why would they do that? It's because they're desperate. It's because life in Gaza is actually not better than the risk of dying. They would rather do something. They would rather do something to get the world's attention than to live the life they've been living. And guess what? We really, it's our responsibility. We have basically shown the Gazans that unless they're being killed, they don't get attention. That's really what's happened. For months and months and months, this has been going on since 2007. What is just daily structural violence, unemployment that is, like nothing we can possibly imagine. We complain if the unemployment gets to like 6 or 7, and it's over 60%. They have electricity for 4 hours a day, and stop and think for a minute. Their temperatures are like in the 90 degrees, and they can't even turn on a fan. There's no escaping it. There's no hope. They can't get out. And you know what? Even if the border's open, we wouldn't give them a visa. You know what our immigration policies are like. It's what's the point? What's the point of life? And any American would, and yet we don't pay attention. This is what's been going on day after day after day. And the only time they get into the news, and the only time we come out on the streets usually, so we own this too, is when there's violence. Is when they're getting killed. That's the lesson we've taught them. So if we want nonviolent resistance, we have to show them that it works. And yet the UN, every time there's a vote in the United Nations, which is supposed to be a nonviolent body for hearing complaints, they're protected by our government. When they go to the ICC to try to take a complaint, they're threatened with losing their funds. So they've tried that. There's towns in the West Bank that have gone to court, and they've gotten court rulings. The ICC has ruled against that big wall in the West Bank, and it's meant nothing. So what are they supposed to do? And by the way, if you look at even the Israelis' own history, when they thought they were being oppressed by the British because they wanted their own country, remember the Haganah and the Irgun? Those were violent terrorist organizations. And yet they've completely forgotten that and expect Palestinians to act like perfect people and just never to use anything violent or never do anything, don't resist in any way. And it's very hypocritical. So I want you to, I hope that you'll go to the website, you'll read their stories, because they're each one trying to, they're not numbers. We keep talking about the numbers, 146, 15,000 injured, etc. But those are people. Those are, every single one's an individual with a story. And they're humans just like we are. And so today we have to remember that they have a right to their homeland, they have a right to basic human rights. And it's up to us, it's really our fault, collectively, it's up to us to try to make sure they get them back.
Thank you. Thank you, Pam, and thanks for the work you're doing with the youth in Gaza.
Yeah,
so,
I just want to say a quick thing. Pam, that's amazing. Pam and me met really on a trip to Gaza. Yeah. And we've been to Gaza many times, as Pam's been there many more times than I have. But the one thing she forgot to mention, and I feel amiss, is the beauty of the place and the beauty of the people. I wouldn't want to leave there. They are stuffed into one of the worst situations, the most confining situations. They have the most population per square meter of any place in the world, in a prison. Yet there is so much natural beauty in Gaza, and there's so much beauty in Gazan people. They are a unique people, and they will fight like they're doing right now, peaceful, nonviolent fights at the border fence, just to keep. They want to live there, but they want to live there in peace and harmony with a future.
Yes.
So that's that. I just forgot to. I needed to mention it.
Here you go, Medea.
Thank you.
Whenever you want.
Now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, whatever you want to say.
Hello, I'm Michael Beer with Nonviolence International. Thank you everybody for coming out today and supporting the Palestinians and calling on the Kushners to, well, frankly, they should resign. They should ask their father-in-law to resign. And we want our money back. And we are here because we're very, very unhappy with our corrupt government and the corrupt Trump regime, and we're asking that the Palestinians not be sold down the river some more, because they've suffered enough, and we want peace and justice for the Palestinians and Israelis. We've had a lot of talking, and the talks have been great. I'd like to do a little singing together, and invite everybody to join in. Peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom in Gaza. Peace, salam, shalom with justice. Peace, salam, shalom in Jerusalem. Peace, salam, shalom in Washington, D.C. Peace, salam, shalom with justice. Peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom in Gaza. Peace, salam, shalom in Palestine. Peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom with justice. Peace, salam, shalom with human rights. Peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom. Keep singing it. Peace, salam, shalom. Keep singing it. Peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom. Thank you, everybody. Thank you much.
We have one, ABC said they were coming, but they haven't showed up. So maybe we should, could people hang out another 10 minutes or so?
I have a question. What are we going to do the same scenario over, or would we be better off doing the final?
Maybe the final. Hanging?
No.
We'll wait and see.
All right.
In the meantime, is there anybody who is from Palestine who is willing to say something?
It's prettier. It's more.
Yeah, because they have to follow a whole narrative.
So anybody from Palestine who is willing to speak? Yes. Wonderful. Thank you. Who's got the mic from here?
Thank you.
Yeah, I am a Palestinian. I am, of course, American Palestinian, but I am originally a refugee, and I am from Jaffa, and this is a famous city on the Mediterranean Sea. And my wish in my life, which I will die for, is to go to Jaffa, because Jaffa is the city where my grandparents were born and where my parents were born. So my grandparents and my parents were forced to leave Jaffa at 1948. Because of the war and because of the massacres, especially in Deir Yassin. My grandmother, when my mother was still maybe 10 years old, and she had other 6 brothers, they are all under 14 years old. So she was scared and worried about them because she heard about the massacre in Deir Yassin, and she heard that the Zionist gangs killed many children and many women there. So she was scared, and she asked my grandfather to leave Jaffa. They thought that they will leave temporarily. They took the key of their home with them. They thought that they will return when the war ends. But the war never ended until today. And we are still the granddaughters and sons are suffering. We have to live far away from each other. We can't go to Jaffa. We can't see the home where my grandparents were living. They were telling us very beautiful things about Jaffa and very happy memories about their life there. But everything is destroyed. Is destroyed because the world want Israel to be there, want to get rid of the Palestinians, let them refugees or kill them. Until this day, many youths are now be killing in Gaza and even in West Bank and before in Jerusalem. So we want to end this. We want peace. And we want to return to our homes because we have memories and we have properties and we have the right. This is the human rights to return to the homeland you belong to. So I wish Kushner and the others who with him putting now the plan for the deal of the century to understand that we are human beings and we have feelings, we have rights, we have memories, and they have to think about us, not just think about one side of what's going on now. And I wish they think about justice, because what are they planning and doing doesn't have any justice or any even mercy for the Palestinians. And I think, you know, if they put ourselves in the situation we had, they will not accept it. So why they have to accept it to us? Right. Yeah. So this is the question they have to ask themselves about, and I wish that they have common sense, they have justice, and they have morals, and they have humanity. So I would like to thank everybody here, because really you are looking for justice and for the rights of the Palestinians. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yay. Thank you. And now our last speaker is going to be Christian. Christian.
Close to your mouth.
Hi, my name's Christian.
Can you look at us?
Where's the camera? Where am I looking? This way?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm active with Palestine issues. My family originally is Palestinian, but now I live in the United States, and I compiled a little bit of information and some research that I did specifically about the 2014 what they call the Gaza conflict, but it was more of an Israeli operation. So that's where my research centers around, although it does expand, and I just want to give you a glimpse of that. And the rest of it I'll send over, and it'll be on the Code Pink website, from what I believe. So according to the United Nations Independent Commission of Inquiry into the 2014 Gaza conflict, it was a report compiled on the basis of hundreds of witness interviews and written testimonies, because Israel refused to cooperate or allow research to be conducted in either Israel or the occupied territories on the grounds that the Commission of Inquiry and the United Nations were biased and did not know the profound difference between Israel's moral behavior and the terror organizations it confronted. So the 2014 operation into Gaza was in the name of security. However, if we look at the specifics and the facts, were proven otherwise. According to figures in the report, in 51 days of conflict, of violence particularly, 2,251 Palestinians lost their lives, including 1,523 civilians, of whom 299 were women, and most devastatingly, 551 were babies. 551 babies in 51 days. The casualties were even more devastating. 17,152 Palestinians were dead compared to 2,639 Israelis. And the numbers go on from 20% of the population is in need as a result of the operation of long-term mental health assistance. That's 1 in 5 Palestinians. 17 hospitals were destroyed and damaged. 56 primary health clinics were also destroyed. 30% of education facilities sustained damage or were destroyed. 50%, 1 in 2 of the kindergartens were either damaged or destroyed, and 18,000 houses were either destroyed or severely damaged. The numbers go on, but clearly there's a hidden motive, maybe even explicit motive, underneath this Israeli operation. And I'd like to go on and a award-winning Israeli journalist by the name of Gideon Levy, who writes for the Israeli newspaper Haaretz, is quoted saying, "The Israeli operation is, quote, just a wild onslaught upon the most helpless population in the world, besieged and jailed, with nowhere to run, not even into the sea," unquote. UN reports in 2012 estimated that Gaza would be, quote, unlivable by 2020, but recent reports say Gaza has already passed beyond that projected point. And we're in 2018, 2 years before the projected date. The UN report concluded that as of 2017, 98% of the water in Gaza is undrinkable, and there exists roughly a 40% poverty and 47% food insecurity rate, some of the worst in the world. These conditions are a direct result of official Israeli policy, funded by the United States.
And the U.S. is defunding UNRWA.
Gaza is the largest open-air prison in the world, and just like in closed-air prisons, those inside the Palestinians are capable of making decisions inside of the walls, but they are not capable of making decisions outside of the walls. Those fall upon the decisions of the prison guards or the Israeli leadership, not the other way around. The Palestinians are not the ones with the Navy, Air Force, Army, and nuclear weapons. They do not set checkpoints. They do not bulldoze Israeli homes or take Israeli businesses or imprison innocent Israeli people, including children. They do not build walls. The Palestinians do not build walls around Israeli cities. They do not uproot Israeli crops or withhold Israeli taxes. They don't determine the minimum caloric intake required to survive and then enforce that diet through checklists of prohibited items at the barriers. Palestinians do not prevent Israelis from leaving Israel whenever Israelis want or keep them from going to school. Palestinians don't cut off Israeli electricity. They don't bomb Israeli water treatment plants and food and flood Israeli streets with sewage. Palestinians don't withhold shipments of drugs to Israeli hospitals. They don't shoot at Israeli fishermen if they stray beyond an artificial boundary or allow people to die at checkpoints awaiting medical leave. And Palestinians certainly do not prevent Israeli husbands and wives from living together because they're in two different parts of the same country. Palestinians do not in any of these things, do not do any of these things. They are done to the Palestinians by Israel. After over 20 years of covering the Palestine-Israeli conflict, the same award-winning Israeli journalist Levy concludes that the Palestinians in Gaza, many of them born to 1948's refugees, quote, who already suffer one tragedy by Israel's hands, now face the next chapter in the tragic saga of their lives, an aimless, futile, criminal, and superfluous offensive for no other reason than because they were Gazans. The rest you can find on the Code Pink website, but that's just a little glimpse.
Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to now do the hanging of the pictures. So if everybody can get their photo, if you have one. Did you give out the 20 of them already?
Yeah, everybody who has a photograph, take it off and tie, and hold it like this. You could take one and just get in between. So when you untie it, then so if you could take yours off of your body and then untie the knot so it's real easy and then it's loose. Is there anybody else over there like Ariel? Let's take off our thing and untie it. And then we're going to do a nice quiet ceremony remembering the 146 murdered peaceful nonviolent protesters at the Israeli border fence. Remember, there's no apartheid wall, giant 40-foot cement wall. There's a reason why there's no giant 40-foot cement wall there, so they can shoot people easily. So let's go over here and
we should remember all the others.
We sing for the mothers all who live in Gaza, for their sorrow, for their love. We ache for the mothers who live in Gaza, for their sorrow, for their love. May their broken hearts be cradled. May their righteous anger be heard. We sing for justice and healing for all of the mothers all over the world. We sing for the mothers all who live in Gaza, for their powers, for their love. We ache for the mothers who live in Gaza, for their sorrow, for their love. May their broken hearts be cradled. May their righteous anger be heard. We sing for justice and healing for all of the mothers all over the world. We sing for the mothers who live in Gaza, for their love, for their love. We ache for the mothers who live in Gaza, for their sorrow, for their love. May their broken hearts be cradled. May their righteous anger be heard. We sing for justice and healing for all of the mothers all over the world. So as we're doing this today, there are people all over the world who are doing similar actions with photos of people who were shot during peaceful protests in Gaza. They're doing it at federal buildings, they're doing it at Israeli embassies, they're doing it at US embassies, and so we think it is very appropriate that we are here at Jared Kushner's house to be putting up these photos of people who were so brutally murdered by the Israeli Defense Forces. And we are here to say that the blood of Jared Kushner, the blood of these people who were killed, is on the hands of Jared Kushner. Yes. Just like it's on the hands of Donald Trump, just like it's on the hands of our members of Congress who refuse to do anything about this. If somebody could pull that up a little bit. And so let's just take a moment and think, a moment of silence for over 140 people gunned down during peaceful protests in Gaza. Thank you all for coming, and let's do one final photo, because over here we can see you all well. And Linda, if you could come up with that, and someone else maybe take this one, and we'll get the Free Palestine in here. Thank you all for being here. Maybe we could get a couple of people behind this sign if Jared is there. A couple more behind. And then any of the rest of us, if we could just fill in behind them, that would be great.
Can we chant shame?
Shame on Jared Kushner! Shame! 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 Shame!
نرفض الصليب الأمريكي ونرفض مساعدة الجيش الأمريكي لإسرائيل.
Are you trying to come in here?
كوشنر كمان.
Okay. One last squished in picture.
Whoever's not holding a sign. Right.
Or over here.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Palestine is not real estate! 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 Palestine is not real estate!
Okay, let me just make sure we got the perfect picture here. I think it looks great.
It doesn't have you in it. It's not perfect.
The fact that we're here is imperfect.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's perfect.
Are we done? Can I take out my mask?
Palestine will be free.
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 Okay, I think we also want to thank the police for letting us exercise our First Amendment rights here. Very nice. Thank you.
Traffic around us.
Very, very nice. Thank you all for coming.
Medea, thank you.
Thank you, Nora.
You guys.
guys were unbelievable. You guys made this show.
What's your last name?